All right, good morning traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar today with JTrader, stocks trader. We do this every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
How can you see what's happening?
And we are JTrader. He comes in. He comes in a little bit later. So around 10:15, maybe earlier. Last week he came in at 10. We'll look for him soon. In the meantime, we'll go over the S&P. We'll jump right in. Let me just go through some disclosures here, and then we'll take a look at that S&P and then dive into the stocks with JTrader. All right, he will be trading live in here, but it is in demo mode. I'll put JTrader's contact information in here if you want to reach out to him. He offers education and mentorship. Let's go through the disclosures. General disclosure. And this is important. All Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Live trading is in simulation, demo, paper trading mode, and strictly for educational purposes. Live trading executed in simulation cannot accurately represent realistic trading performance. All right, risk disclosure. Trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Let's take a look here. We'll look at the S&P. I also want to just look at crypto. Saw something really interesting in there this morning. Wow, what's going on in here? Well, what do you think? CPI data right at 8:30. We knew this was going to be a big event. The markets are very skittish right now to any inflation data. And you can see the dramatic move down through 4,000 liquidity here. All the way down to let's see, it's about 39.50 or so, and then look at the bounce back up. Okay, 4,000 was an area where it did test, traded into that high liquidity, started to pull back. We found more buyers in here, and look at this nice flip of the order book here. Basically, you can kind of see it here. More sellers on the offer here. Looks like they transact, but look at the buyers come in and throw a lot of orders underneath here. Finding more buyers, we trade up to high liquidity here at 40.25 or so. Okay, so that's the dynamic that's going on right now. We have come all the way back up, have not gotten above, though, where it dropped from here at 8:30. So that's kind of curious and interesting here. See if we can get back up into this area here. Before the news event and hunt some stops in there, because a lot of people are going to be short. Okay, so we're going to be looking for that as a potential scenario in here, and it's already in play here. Basically, you can see the buyers coming in above 4,000, and then they are supporting it here underneath here. Now they pulled here. You can see there's some here though, just above, coming into the market right now. All right. So let me jump over to crypto. I want to show you this. This was really interesting. I thought this is a Binance Futures. I thought it showed it pretty well. Binance Futures, it's a little different than your spot crypto exchanges. It's leveraged, and you'll see. Look at this. Before the 8:30 event here. These queuing algos staying in the queue, kind of following, hovering price from a distance, and then look what happened here at 8:30. They're out, right? They don't want to be in the market any longer. There's risk. They don't know what the numbers are going to be. Where did it trade? Right down to high liquidity here at 30,000. Continued on. High liquidity comes into the market down here. We don't even get to it though. All right, this is around 28,800 or so. We can see a beautiful bounce here. Now, curiously enough, this already has tested back to where it dropped from here before the news. Right? And it looks like it's going to go for it again here. So we have some crypto traders interested in here, and they pulled a lot of liquidity here at just around 32,000, a little bit above it. And let's just zoom in here and see. Yeah, you can see where they pulled it here. And I'm looking for these traders to trade right back up to it. Okay, so here's some buyers already. They're above this little range here. Now what we need to see is more buyers coming in here. Let's get a little more realistic here about this and look at a range and start to figure out, like, you know, within the range, what's that buying and selling look like here. Okay, so we have kind of a upward trending slope here, and we're looking to see if we get more buyers up here. So we'd look for like pullbacks into some of these areas here. It's pulling back to this area here, 34 or 31,400. Okay, that is an area of importance. Here's why. Okay, this swing and acceptance above it. And let's see if we get more buyers come in here. If we get some sellers below it, I'd look for them to test down to our trend line here. And we have a beautiful kind of you know, high volume node in here, or, you know, bottom of the range in here. So somewhere around 31,200 to, you know, 31,150 or something like that, 31,150. So that's where we'd be looking for these buyers to come in. Okay, so I don't see anything right now. A little bit of selling coming in right now below our little line that we just put in at 400. Okay, so let's see if they might bring it back down to around this 200 level, 150 to 200. Looks like they're kind of going for it. And we see these guys lining up already at 200 here, as you can see. Okay, so we're just about there at 200. All right. Now let's see if we get some buyers coming in here. Or sellers. Okay, I mean, if we're looking for sellers, then we're looking for the bottom of this range here, around this 3150, 150 or so, a little bit below it. There they go. Okay, so now they've tested it. Okay, going through it. All right, so now we're looking for another scenario here. And it is above this line here, around our 140, 150 level. Do we get buyers above it? Is this a false breakdown? And then we're looking for a short squeeze? Or are these sellers for real? Like, we're going to just see the continuation in here to the downside. Okay, so we're hovering at our line here. No insight at the moment here. Kind of tense here. Waiting for some sort of insight here. Okay, let's see what happens. See the reaction to that liquidity at 100 right there. Sold off. Looking for more sellers then. Let's see if they can try to reach back down to 900 or 800 here. It looks like the reaction to this liquidity, this more supply here, was sellers. Okay, so that scenario, once we got down here and got a little more clarity, we're looking for it to sell off. Okay, it was this liquidity and reaction to it that helped us make that clarity, or give that clarity and make that decision. So here we are down at this area here. There was liquidity in here before around this 800, and we should see a little bit of a bounce in here.
Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Joseph. How are you?
Great. Great morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Bookmap traders.
All right. So, Joseph, if you can share your screen in here.
All right.
In the advanced webinar area.
Okay, let me know, Bruce, if you can see my monitor with Bookmap.
Yes, and let me pop that out and put that in here. All right, so everyone should be able to see JTrader's desktop. Yeah, there we go. All right,
okay.
Looks like you're good to go.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. So before making a recap of the market, I want to go over here a stock that is uptrending right now. we're talking about a stock with 6 million volume traded. It's also a small cap because this is a microfloat company. We have a 3.44 million of float, so that's extremely low. We have a very low also institutional ownership. We're talking about a 3%, and market cap is only 56 million. In this case, I'm observing over here the price section that we can see on Bookmap. And you can see that the majority of the traders over here were simply buying, right? So we had like a $6 reclaim, and it came extended to the 675. So after daily breakout. Now I'm looking if we're going to have a fake out, so a close below that daily level. The daily level is at 650. So I'm looking exactly this price over here, 648, 650. Let's see if we're going to close below. You can see on the daily, this is a stock that simply passed from around 60 bucks. I'm talking 60 buck traders in the last month to 3 bucks. All right. Now it's gapping in the last few days because a lot of traders, what happened? They're going to think this is a discount. So they're going to try over here to buy and hold because they think, wow, before was 60, now it's $3 or $5.50 this morning. So this is a discount, and let's buy something over here. Now I'm not short over here because I don't have bars, unfortunately, this morning on this one. But I wanted to go over the price section that we had. I'm gonna use this this chart. Actually, this over here, the 1 minute. All right, so we can see traders, the volume over here is not that high. So for a $6 stock, we're trading an average of 250K per minute. That's a small amount of volume. So in a stock like this, what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for a level. And on that level, I want to see a stuff. Could be the reclaim of the previous high, or it can be a lower high stuff, right? So I'm looking for that. And ideally, I'm looking for the fader. I'm looking at the 650, as I said before, because it's this daily resistance. So it's an important aspect in my trading, looking for those daily levels. Let's look together at what other possible resistances we may have. So one would be over here at the $10 area. One over here at the 712. And then this one over here at the 650. So let's put a 4-hour chart. I think we can see definitely even better. This is the price action right now. So that's the support we're seeing over here from the gap. That's the resistance. Now we see another resistance 712 and another one over here that it's just testing it right now, this 650. Yeah, the ask is a little bit like stack with not that huge amount of size, but we still have like between 665 and 680, some good amount of sellers. We fill the support 630. We have a micro consolidation. I think we're going to see some good sellers over here on the tape. So what I'm adding over here is times in sales. We're going to filter minimum size. Just put like for today 100 shares. All right. Remember, if we fail the 630, we're going to have probably a wash. There we are. So it's breaking the 630. Some selling. selling stopped over here. They're reclaiming the 630, and you can see traders, they put back some buyer over here. Now, when we have these fake breakdowns, remember one thing. If you have a fake breakdown, like happening right now in an uptrend, this is often a good area where long traders, right, so buyers will stop out, shorts will start like to get in a position, and if we reclaim, and I will see over here some good amount of volume, then on a trend line break and a curl, I will look to long for the upside. Right now, I don't have that liquidity that we had, for example, before. So I'm simply waiting sidelines. They're testing again at 630, breaking down. You can see over here they're passing some liquidity. Boom, again absorbed. 2 times over here, somebody is absorbing into the 620. So I said this morning, we're gonna look together at the manipulation, how to read the volume, how to read the order flow to understand how to trade stocks, small caps and big caps. And over here, this is a perfect scenario for a stock that is uptrending, micro float, flow rotation, that is basically showing traders over here a huge amount of volume, but also huge amount of manipulation. So fake breakdown, boom, push to the upside. Now 650. So we had the trend line break over here. We're gonna see increase of momentum over here, right? So we have a first wave, a second wave, a third wave over here, possibly formation of a fourth one. We need to see over here a higher high and also volume increasing. $655. So what I'm watching is this trend break. Again, I'm not buying traders over here. We need to buy to a support. Ideally, the VWAP is where I was watching for a buy, or the J lines, or simply shorting a big stuff, as I said before, or parabolic. This morning, I traded mainly Tesla for a good short. We'll review then Tesla, morning open short. So nice pattern over here. Making lower highs, lower highs. So we're waiting for this and this. Want to see a consolidation over here for longing that dip. We're starting to print green. 655. Now, in order to have a break over here of 660, we need a massive volume. So we need more buyers to come in. There we are, 660. So this can push to the highs over here. So look, this 675. Always careful, because at these levels over here, if we touch this pre-market high, previous high, we can have a stuff. So a fast wash. Yeah, some liquidity over here stack at 670, 73. You can put this as our guide. Careful in case it stops. They're still trying to hold it, you can see. Liquidity coming, so green. Careful now. We close below. If it comes away, if we have a break over here of 660, another wash coming. Not long. I still didn't take a position this morning on BWV. The only trade was Apple and Tesla. Buyer 670 has been absorbed over here. So somebody sold 20,000. So we have some big sellers up here. Probably the morning buyers over here, they found out some good liquidity to dump into. Support 660 went away. More sellers. So next level, 712. Also, we can put up trend line over here. Okay. This is our uptrend line. This is our breakout over here. That's the stuff. Until we hold this trend line, until the zone over here is green. This is still for the upside, still front side of the move. Already traded almost 9 million volume. So remember the float was around 3 million. So almost 30 times flow rotation. This is a stock I traded in the previous days. Okay, what I like traders over here is these sellers that we have. 53, also over here now 55, 66, 72. And they're trying to break this trend line. They're refilling over here, the 53 more. If you break the 48, prepare for the wash. This is the level that I'm watching. exactly this. So they're buying over here, just on the trend line, right? That is the level that I'm watching. No more support below, 650, 652. I was watching for also a volume divergence pattern, but we don't have it over here. I'm going to try and look at 5-minute chart. All right, so we can have a first volume divergence over here, this bar. So you can see two higher highs, right? From the bar at 1010 and the bar at 1020. So higher highs, lower highs in the volume. So when I have this pattern, I'm looking for a breakdown and then a secondary pop and then taking the short in this area. So this is what I'm looking for, volume divergence, right? Over here. So price is increasing. So we have like a runner or a grinder, and the volume is decreasing. So it means that we're going to become exhausted on that move. Now, doesn't mean it's going to reverse all the way down, but we have good chances for a big pullback. So first trend line break, go back to the 1-minute chart. Then I like to keep, more than one chart together. So I analyze what happens on the 1 and the 5 minutes. You can see over here sellers, right? You don't need to put your trend lines. It's just easier. And personally, what I prefer to do, I like to put my trend lines, in Bookmap. Look over here, fantastic break, right? Just very easy stuff, very easy stuff. Then I will show you how we took the same thing on Tesla. Now, when you see this, remember, we have a manipulation, which is at 3 times the flow rotation. We had both sides manipulated. And for a lot of you that you are not familiar with manipulation, what is basically? So imagine that your plan is to trap traders. You are a market maker yourself. So what are you going to do? If you want to trap long traders, you're going to create an environment where you will make visible a breakout to everybody, and you will make it believe that it's so simple to trade it. So everybody over here is buying, right? Breakout traders, they're looking for this to push. And it doesn't mean that eventually the stock doesn't go up, because you can see eventually it goes. The stock doesn't go up when we have a breakout. The stock goes up when we have, for example, a dip. That's the time that you want to enter this. Or over here, like we said and we analyzed before, 2 fake breakdowns. And then over here we had what? Another breakdown. But at the same time, we had also fake breakout. So both sides, we have manipulation here, here, here twice, here, and here. Now, if you look at these patterns on many of the small cap trades, small cap stocks that we take, we see the same kind of manipulation, right? So what I suggest is to screen share it, to save it, and to study it. Reclaim again the 550. Too bad on this stock, we don't have shorts. At least personally, I don't have bars. So if you are curious to know each of these dips over here, we stall, right? You can simply put 20 EMA on the 1 minute chart, right? You will see that. So if ES will continue to move in this way, we're gonna pull up soon Tesla. Let's just give it like till 10-15 minutes. Now, the best shorts or best longs that I take are based on two main factors. One, we need the chart pattern. Chart pattern that could be from a chart pattern, let's say like a double bottom or a double top, plus an important level. This level could be a daily support or a daily resistance or a pivot, right? Or in today important level. And then I also need to see that liquidity. An example, we can put up this an example just to explain. 1 second. You should be able to view now my screen. So when I'm looking for, and this is Tesla, right? Is my, I would say, the stock that I traded the most in 2021, 2022. Before what has been Apple and Netflix. So when I see this, right? So when I see a first of all, this is an absorption, and then they start dumping over here. The second time that the scenario will represent, you can see that we don't reject immediately, but we have a fake out. This is my stuff. So a fast push, fake out, right away rejection. So that's the reason why I was saying before, if you are a market maker, you will look the ideal price where to trap traders. So you're not going to do it over here. You're going to do it at a certain limit. All right. So this is an extreme. It's an extreme into the high of the day. I don't remember now if this was also daily resistance. And then right away we had the dump. So I can just see over here, even if we don't have the, the dots in a big way, that the first part of our chart over here, of our move, I would say that we have the majority of buyers. Look, those blue, right? So we have the majority of bidders, buyers. So the majority of demand. And then at a certain point, I start seeing over here the majority of sellers, especially sellers that on the breakdown, they are dumping. So in about over here, 5 minutes, because this happens in 5 minutes, this shift from over here to here, right? 5-10 minutes. We have really the shift between the demand and supply. Once you know this, your trading will improve so much. You can recognize this, good, you'll make money. Let's go back to our setup over here on BWV. So now it's 10:37, almost 10:38. What I do, I run my scanners during the day. So doesn't matter which scanner, whatever you want. I start looking for movers. I start looking for news. I start looking in this case for stocks that are gapping, extending above 15%. So I will go over here to my filters and I will change this to 15%. I use 20 for the pre-market. And where did it go? All right, so I'm gonna just put over here this. So in the meantime that we're trading, also I'm gonna put a volume over here. I wanna see at least 300K, right? I wanna see a little bit of liquidity. So we have AFI, it's 29 cent. Not really looking at that. BWV is the one we're watching. Track. not that volatile. We have just about 700K. So we'll check this is nice stock. So let's check 1 second. Track. All right, nothing. Just looks like a buyout. So I want to double check the news. Track down here. So private over here, 981, sure deal. Okay, so it won't really move. Definitely agreement to be acquired. So acquisition, let's leave it. Why BWV is up? Always read your news. So Blue Water Vaccines, Oscar Health, top healthcare gainers, Inovio. So let's see. Let's see on Seeking Alpha what they're saying. Yeah, no really news, but I believe that is the point that we lost so much previously, and now we're finding like on the daily some dip buyers. Right, let's go back to BWV. And I mean, this is really exciting because it's been holding over here this area all morning. You can see this uptrend line, right? Now we can even put a second trend line, this one is breaking out. Volume is increasing. You can see over here, breakout. Let's look at this for this price over here, 683 Bear.
Yep. This way.
And now, just at a glance, what I'm starting to look over here. Or we're going to have this zone where I want to buy, or this where I want to buy. But at the same time, I start looking for a possible three-wave pattern, right? So this is a pattern that I like to trade, but that I won't be trading until I don't have a trend line break and a rejection over here. I don't want to enter on the front side of the move unless I have this main stuff or a parabolic moving to that daily resistance right now, 715. And you can see over here, each time we get really to those top levels, just look over here, traders, right? Each time we get to that top level, 675, 680, look at the dump that we have. Why? I believe that more than short sellers, we have some holder over here, maybe some big trader or some big, I would say, hand, like I like to call it, that is waiting each time for those pushes to dump partial of his position. Maybe there's even more than one player because the volume is pretty big, almost 11 million, and it's not even 11 o'clock. So I believe that each time we see over here some kind of good liquidity, so somebody's buying. At the same time, we have the seller, and I wouldn't be surprised. So let's try to be a little bit more attentive. If we have also him or them, depends if it's more than one, spoofing a little bit. So trying to over here hold the price up, not to make it go down. Maybe even like collecting a little bit more in these fake breakdowns, and then for pushing it back up. So these are the things that in a second moment when you start like reading very good the order flow, when you start seeing like who is in control, supply, demand, the patterns, you have to look for. So not only order flow, but also order flow together with the manipulation in order to understand how the price action moves and how the big hands will try to trap you. Okay, still holding over here, making still higher lows, but lower highs. So when I see that instantly, I know that we have a contraction, right? So this leads to or a big push or a big dump. Again, support over here around 640, 650. Start watching this. Main J lines over here are at 620. They just don't want to make it like fail over here. They just don't want to make it fail. So support at 640. Careful traders. Breakdown coming. Possible wash again to the 630 VWAP over here. Look at the times and sales. I start seeing a little bit more sellers. 44. Look at that 640. We have this important support 640, 642. As it's still not fading.
Yeah.
Bounce again, 655. Green again. They simply don't want to make it die. So Netflix is pretty sidelines. Apple is pretty sidelines. Nvidia is sidelines. So we have to wait. I'm waiting traders for on the big caps right now. Once BWV is done, we're gonna go over possibly Tesla and Apple. Just want to explain you how this morning the way that I read Bookmap was so clear for a trader for the trade. All right, so clear. So that next time you can, I don't say trade right away live, but do your practicing demo. Start practicing first. Experiment, see if you're able to do it, recognize it. And also, one suggestion is record your screen. Record your times and sales, Bookmap over here. You can shift parameters, and I invite you, if you need help, to write me in DM on Discord. I will help you. Also, put up 1 or a 5 minute chart or a 3 minute, the one you're more comfortable. Try to record the screen and rewatch it. Now, you don't need to rewatch 7 hours, and price action really doesn't move. But look, those moments where we have reversal, bounces, fades, big orders, big sellers, buyers, and so on, right? Those are the moments that you have to focus. What happened on the tape? How was Bookmap? Did I see a big seller? It was a soaked. Did we have a clear pattern? All of this, right? And I guarantee you that it will really help you in becoming a better trader. Again, 640, remember we were saying before, support for break 640, possible wash to the VWAP. There we are, wash to the 630. Now look the sellers over here. So we have some decent one. There we are, 620. There we are, 6. Now careful, because often what they could do, wash fast, reclaim VWAP, bim, push to the upside. For now, they're starting to hold over here. This is the sweep indicator. So you can see instant rip. to downside, sweep indicator coming up. Now we're holding below VWAP, but often remember, we can have like a reversal fast over here. So good play. Again, don't have the bars on this, but good play analyzing this, right? Okay, another seller over here, just below VWAP. And I'm starting to watch now Tesla. So as I was saying before, Tesla is the main stock for me. Nice over here. First breakdown of the VWAP. Yesterday, I made an analysis on Tesla. And we were, for example, looking at where Tesla, what's the possible target on Tesla, okay? So the market over here in these days is pretty bearish. I think that if yes, will continue to fail, sorry, SPY will continue to fail below this 390, the main target based on my strategies, it would be a 360. So therefore, all the other stocks that are following, and now I would say even Bitcoin, they are following the indexes, they will probably unwind. So I'm looking at Tesla, for example, 750 and then a target of 700. So these are not really absurd targets because I made, for example, an analysis explaining this, right? The point is we have to wait. We have to wait and see what ES is doing. So this is not me, but it's just like a way how to execute the trade so you can understand how to short over here when we have the crack, and this is pretty good. Now let's see new gappers. We have nothing for now. So CELH, TREC, RGLS, AFI. So I'm gonna stick to Tesla. I think it's a little bit still early, and I will explain why. This is a 1 minute chart. I mean, we can even use a 5 minutes only to see a bigger picture. So trend line break over here. Yeah, next target definitely 774 and then 750. So I'm not short over here. Why? Because we're still in range for the morning, right? So I need to see yes, like starting to downtrend, SPY and Q and everything. And then of course we can take a good short also on Tesla. We'll be looking at Nvidia, Facebook, Baba, Apple. This morning I was also looking at Coin, which is an earning miss. Coinbase, remember, had some very bad news. RDBX also breakdown. And this morning I was not really looking at RDBX. So it was not really like my first stock to trade. It's one of those stocks that is really beaten down stock. Just look over here, traders on the daily. I mean, if it will be interesting, we may put up Bookmap. But I mean, look how it works with the levels, right? So we had this resistance at just 6, and this morning with the pop into the 6 over here. And now it's pulling back more than $1. We're talking about small caps. So let's go back to Tesla. These are nice sellers. Look at this tape. I don't see really any buyer. And this is when I like to start shorting Tesla. I would say some heavy players We're going to put up also here times and sales. Let's zoom out a little bit. So we are below the trend line. Stock is fading. My plan this morning was to look for a short, and I just want to make you understand, not really to show my trade, which actually I can just show you 1 second right now, so that you can understand the price action. So that is the morning trade pre-market, and then over here, shorting the gate right for the fade. The point is, we had a very good read. I had personally a very good read on Tesla, and the reason why is because I see this every single day. I mean, I watch Tesla every single day. If you start looking at the same stock, if you start looking at the same, we say, patterns, trying to recognize, right? Tesla this last weeks is doing always the same pattern. So what it does over here is what I call the pop and fill, right? And let's see if I can put one of these screens over here. I don't want to blind you. Before I had even a black one, I don't know why. Okay, so in order to understand the order flow, we have to think about this. So imagine that this is the previous day close. Sometimes Tesla will be here, so gapping up. Sometimes Tesla will be over here, right? So when it opens, take a reference, for example, the VWAP. We can put the VWAP like this. We can put the VWAP like this. Sometimes the stock, when it opens, will be above the VWAP. So what I see is that we can fail, pop, and then over here I'm looking for a rejection. So this is a pop and fail. And of course, I have to look if the previous day close will hold as support and bounce back up or fade. The second scenario, so imagine again, we are trading below, in this case, the previous day close. And this is the VWAP. We're opening above. Again, we can push. This push often could be to the previous day close area. And then we can start shorting over here higher. And then we have to wait for the VWAP breakdown because sometimes can reverse and push all to the upside. Now, having said this, start looking at Tesla. And I'm going to put a 5 minutes so that you can see yesterday close, sorry. Over here, so that you can see yesterday close. Remember, this morning we had data around 820. That's the reason why I started shorting 802. So yesterday we closed into this area. So around 790s, 798, 797, right? And this morning we had the open just into that previous day close. All right. So we had a push right away to that close and then started to fail. And if you look, traders over here, if you look what happened on the Bookmap, this is one of the setups that I simply love. We open above the view. Remember what I just told you. It popped where? To the previous day close. It started to fail over here, the VWAP. And then over here, they are starting to bounce. I mean, once I see that this bounce cannot continue and reclaim the high of the morning, so after the open, that's your short. And that is how it went down. Now, you can tell me, Jay, this didn't fade like, 100 points like usual, but I can tell it was still a good fader. We had even a second one, right? So it came a second time over here above the VWAP, but it couldn't break the open level. It rejected again. And what happened after? Rejection of the heat map, VWAP, again, perfect lower high of the VWAP. That's a beautiful setup. So I simply love really to see this setup over and over and over. Look what unwind over here. So that was the juicy one for the morning. Over here, you can start seeing, more selling pressure. And at a certain point, we get over here exhausted. Support, we start having like buyers, less magenta sellers over here. Again, more buyers in control, and then, that eventually went green on the day. Now, what I'm looking is for another fader. If yes, we'll continue to unwind. Tesla will be my first candidate over here for short.
That's some wild action in Tesla there.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla these days, Bruce, and was simply amazing, my friend. Was going up like at the open, a couple of bucks, like on the 26th and the 28th of April, and then dumping. Same happened like a couple of days ago. And it's one of the most volatile stocks right now.
This is great for your directional trades. I mean, just fantastic. Take the directional trade, get out,
Yeah,
and then let them do the deep pullbacks, and then get in again.
exactly. For me, that's one of the most important principles. I mean, I don't, that I don't really want to enter in the breakdown. Like, for example, this morning on my trading, I didn't look to enter over here because I know that over here, first of all, we had a support. I've seen Bookmap over here with liquidity. Now, if I enter in the breakdown, where I'm going to put my stop? My actually real stop was over here. So that's really not a good risk-reward ratio. That's the reason, for example, that I take the shorts over here. So the high, because my system tells me to go there, and I stay away from this. Maybe I will take profit down here. Now, I don't short now yet because we have this main support from the morning. So my idea is to wait for the crack of 780, starting to see like some pullback, and then looking if we can fail the midday afternoon. That would be amazing. Of course, run ES traders, all right? So always have a guy ES, SPY, Qs, NQ. Micro support over here on Tesla, it's 783. I just simply love this micro support. This seems such a good distribution pattern over here. And each time now they made a small consolidation. I was looking before the, like over here, see traders, this is a small consolidation. What I like to call them Jim Slim. I was studying a trader in the, remember Mabir?
Yeah.
In the 90s. I don't remember his name, so pardon because if I don't call his name. But I was watching this trader in the 90s, early 2000, and he called this this pattern the Jim Slim. Right now, you can tell, well, it's a pennant or a flag or whatever. But anyway, we have that very, very tight, narrow, short consolidation. I just call it Jim Slim. All right, breakdown over here of a distribution pattern. Beautiful. You can see over here sellers jumping in. I want to see the speed a little bit increasing over here. Instead, it's not increasing in the speed, right? Times and sales has to increase because you want to see more like stop loss coming in. RDBX in the meantime, J-Line's bounce, simply sick. But again, I didn't have this morning RDBX in my plan list, so I'm not really trading. All right, speed of tape is increasing. Look over here, traders. We can have, if we break this 781, which was my support, and also we have 780 now, then we can have 775. Seems like the market started again to, found a direction. Mabir,
Yeah, I'm looking.
check if we have over here on the 1 minute. And
Yeah.
also NVIDIA right now is starting to
Yeah.
unwind. So of course, while I'm over here with you traders, Mabir is managing the trades. And we're looking at NVIDIA, Facebook, and Tesla. I really like this this continuous sell-off on Tesla right now. This support should crack, maybe a small bounce, but should crack over here. So why? Because we have a steady amount of sellers joining over here. Steady amount of sellers. look at this this drop, right? Each small pop is sold off. Big magentas versus the blue ones. This right now is starting to see a little bit more, I would say, range for the day on Tesla, but I would like to see eventually 750 in the next day. So that could be brutal.
Crazy volatility. I mean, it was at over 1200.
Yeah,
a couple months
Bruce.
ago or something.
Yeah, Bruce. It was simply like crazy. But I mean, the worst is this, buddy. The worst is this. Just look at this stock. And it has some crazy dumps during the day. Now if TD over here is updating, all right. So look at this, buddy. 380 like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and we went to 170. Yesterday was looking even a stock, I believe was Pitton. I follow Pitton a lot because look what it's doing, right? You know, what's your position over here? Shorting. What's your position? Buying puts. So easy things, right? Easy things. Not really hard right now. Market is basically giving me all like shorts. And this is that level where we are right now. Okay, so we are on that main support. Then we have the 754, and then we have this 700 over here, 697 and 700.
Quick question on Facebook. That's what you were looking at just before, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering, like, how you started to look at the weakness in this stock, because, well, was there earnings report and the earnings was just horrible? Is that what it was?
Yeah, and then, you know, it came up also the news that there is a lot of competition for the metaverse. You know, like Disney's doing one, then we have Apple doing one. So even for that, you know, Facebook is like putting all itself in the metaverse right now. That's like, you know, they're like main goal, but there's a lot of competition. And, you know, reading the news over and over, they stated that that is one of the main causes of also this fail. Plus, of course, the returning the guidance and everything.
Yeah. Because, like, you know, you might have your intuition on what it's worth, but fundamentally, you need the data to tell you, like, and there you covered it, earnings and also competition.
Yeah. I would say, Bruce, that is always, you know, a union between technical and fundamental analysis. Now, how much has to be technical analysis, which I include also the flowing side, versus the fundamental analysis? Well, for a day trader, so in my case, day trader, I invest long term, but right now we're talking about day trading. So according to me, I mean, at least my experience, how I mentored a successful trader in the past, I would say that order flow and technical analysis is like 85, 90% of the equation. And once I see even this crossover here of the J lines to the downside on the daily, and I then refer to a shorter time frame, right? So I start referring to, for example, an hourly 4-hour chart. I mean, then I start looking really for, you know, good patterns for a short.
Yeah, I mean, it makes good sense. Like, you know, when is the emperor, you know, finally not wearing clothes? And you know, Facebook, Peloton, some of these other ones, like, you just kind of question, like, really, like, where are they? You know, are they really worth what they're trading?
Exactly. I mean, just look at the majority of these coins that we're trading right now. Okay, like even the bad news on Coinbase today. Or just look at Baba. So Alibaba, how much really like lost in the last year, something incredible. And for a trader who is not really only an investor, but a trader who can manage short position and also options like buying puts, So with a very small amount of capital, you can have like excellent returns. Then, as long as you have liquidity, you're going to make money.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. I mean, it's nice to see some common sense kind of filter back into the bigger picture here.
Yeah, thank you for telling me I have a little bit of common sense, buddy.
Well, no, you're spot on all the time. Very, very stoic with
Yeah.
your.
So last night, Bruce, I was in a webinar podcast on YouTube with Transpider. They invited me, and they asked me, listen to this. They asked me, Jay, how are news important in your trading? And I stated this. I stated like, for me, it's much really more important the technical analysis and the order flow. Because it's true. I mean, I say what I believe in and what I see it as bringing me like good results.
Yeah.
Bruce, just look this. This traders is an absorption. Look over here, and this is a beautiful over here pattern. So 780, I said before. For me, we're gonna have a breakdown, and I still believe in that. But okay, somebody soaked over here, so they exhausted the sellers for that moment. Now 2 minutes passed from that level. We had a bounce over here, 783. I still see like some sellers over here on the tape. They have 19K, 20K on Tesla, which is not that huge amount of liquidity. If we break this, 774. So let's watch over here for a possible breakdown. And look at these prints over here. I mean, we have a lot of sellers. There's no doubt over here we have a lot of sellers. We had even like no buyers on these peaks. Look how many times this is exhausted. So until we are below the 784 over here, I'm still like short bias on the stock. Seems like another distribution pattern for the morning. So let's continue to follow over here.
Yeah, I'm really curious if they're going to stay in the market there. Those buyers on the bid.
Yeah. They seem to be legit over here.
Yeah.
But I mean, or they're like shorts from higher prices and they're just like covering over here, or they still want to build, maybe a bigger position. They're, I would say, averaging, or like maybe they have like position 600. They're adding to their position. Because we say that Tesla is one short seller killer. A lot of funds over here, traders, they lost a ton of money shorting Tesla. So some hedge funds losing billions shorting Tesla in the years, right? This doesn't mean that Tesla can be a good short for the next few weeks or the next few months, right? Just you have to be careful because it's true. Tesla news comes, 2 seconds can go up like 50 points. All right. So we're touching the 784 over here. So we had over here the previous consolidation. When I say consolidation, is all this level right here, right? Also, we had the previous level. So we are below that 783 and 50. So I'm still not short. I will take this position if I have the confirmation that over here we have a weakness. I'm looking also at ES.
Yeah, that's a question about how you look at the ES in relationship to some of these stocks.
Okay, so we would need, me and Bruce over here, to talk at least 1 good hour only for this. Because it's not that, I tell you now, ES is the guide, or NQ is the guide, or Qs is the guide for the market for certain sectors. And, you have this and you will trade this and everything will be fine. It's not like that. Really, it's a question that needs, I would say, more investigation and more explanation, What I can show you, for example, we can put it up here, and I have on other monitors. I have ES, I have VIX, I have the tick, I have the EQs, I have the NQ, I have the SPY, everything. But, you know, I don't want to confuse you with too many things. So what I suggest is just to keep even a normal chart, unless you trade futures, with a 1 in 5 minutes, like very, very simple. Something like, you know, like this, where you put all your levels of support and resistances intraday or the previous day, right? Days. And then you simply look if we have, I would say, a fail below the VWAP or a bounce above the VWAP. If it's continuing to make lower highs, so unwind, or higher lows, so an uptrend. And then you start seeing like all the sector, for example, the tech stocks, is it like fading? You start looking at AMD, Tesla, AMD. I prefer to look at NVIDIA, Apple. I prefer to look at Facebook. That is your guide. Now, market is unpredictable. So if a news comes out, for example, in NVIDIA, or an earning, or an upgrade, or CEO stating something, that could be, I would say, individual relative strength. So you will see, for example, Facebook or NVIDIA with the news pushing in a different opposite direction versus yes. Okay, means that the relative strength in that case is very high. But if I tell you traders that 85% of the trades I took on Tesla and Apple in the last, what is now May, 5 months, there were 85% always with ES as guide. And the win rate was very, very high. So I'm still like with idea over here, we can fail. So we're going to look if we can have this unwind. And I'm still not in a position. And watch at the same time, Facebook and NVIDIA.
And that was great, Joseph. I mean, all those market internals you're looking at, and it is a much bigger discussion. And
Yeah.
One of your strengths is certainly keeping things simple. So you know how to react. You know what you're looking for. You've got numbers behind it. You've studied it. You know you have an edge. These make such a distinction. It makes you a professional trader. I'm wondering though, like looking at.
Sorry, Bruce, if I interrupt you. I just short over here 8240 Tesla.
Okay.
On my accounts. Actually, Mama Bear shorted them for the reason that we have the trendline break that we were just watching. Yes, making a leg down, and then I see, you know, what I call my risk level. I love him. I love him because Mama Bear is not in with 5,000 shares, so we have a clear risk. Now I believe the 780 will go, and we're gonna have a drop. Boom. There we are. We're right in the money. 8250 over here as entry. And now I can put my stop break here. Sorry, Bruce, but I needed to say this and explain traders how to look at this tape reading on Tesla.
More important. Absolutely.
So looked at 20,000. I mean, it was used, right? We bounced over here before. But this didn't mean that we were bouncing all the way up. We bounced into this area of consolidation. I was wrong because I was saying 784, but you know, it's not a precise level. In this case, we have a resistance 784, 785. So we bounce into this area over here. Now we are trending down after trendline break. This is a support 774 and 50. So where, for example, Mabir, I know that she will scale out partial, and she's smarter than, you know, I would say myself maybe. No, of course she's smarter. But over here, what she's looking at, she knows that our support is 774 and 50, but she is adjusting this with the fact that 775, we have a decent amount of support. So we don't want to wait, you know, like the 775 crack to take a little bit of partial. So we're going to stay probably like 50 cents above that. And now, being that we short 782 and 50, our risk is going to be in the money, so 780. So in the worst case scenario, we're taking $2.50. But of course, we want this trade maybe to go $20, $30 today. We never know this. So it's very important for me that you traders start to understand not only, oh, it's a heat map, it's a trendline break, it's whatever, VWAP stuff, I'm shorting. No, that's, I would say, 30% of the equation. Everybody can take a good trade, but I would say the majority of traders cannot manage to have the best result with that trade. And that is where you have to grow as a trader. And I'm telling you this because being that I mentor traders, I know the main obstacles for traders. And if you do this, your R won't be sufficient to make a living in trading because you will cut too fast your wins. And then when you have losses, you will have like 4 hours of losses. So you have really to improve these scales if you want to be a trader. In this case, you don't have to get scared because over here you see, not anymore like sellers. We still have sellers, even if the majority over here are, in this case, buyers, because we have, I believe, like covers. I don't start seeing over here higher lows, and a huge amount of buyers that I get scared and I know that this will push up above 780. So right now what I'm doing, 779 and 50 is our trailing. And look over here, we're almost at the main target. And it's okay if one time you'll get stopped and the trade won't work. It's okay if 2 times will happen this, but eventually, if you have a good strategy, you will make your profits.
Yeah, well put.
Because, Bruce, I saw some good trades from members or from traders over here, or even in the Bookmap community. They took some good entries. And then, let's say they took 10 points out of Tesla when Tesla went down 90 points. So that day you take 10 points. The day after you stop like for 4. The day after you stop out for 4. So you're +2. Commission and everything, light, whatever energy, you're going to go break even or small red. If you take I don't say 90, but still a big part of this 90, maybe like 50. Of course, even if you have all your expenses, your losses, you're going to still be like +40. So that's how you're going to make the money. Risk management, traders, risk management. All right. So again, 779.50, we will trail partial, then move the other stop at 781. So always in the money. Never let, we say, a winning trade turn into a losing trade. Never. And traders, why you do that? The point is, a lot of traders get I would say, too happy when they see unrealized profits. Until you don't close your trades, that's not your money. And you cannot fight it. Look over here, we have a little bit of sweep at the 780 because it had a big push. If we close down below the 780, that would be another possible add to our position.
Yeah.
So over here, we really have a fight. And if you've been looking over here at the size, you can see really that there's like a 50-50 buyers and 50-50 sellers. All right, so they're trying to keep it down. So now over here, Mavir is all out. So she took her profit. It was not a huge profit over here, but still she did a decent trade. And if we're going to have another setup, we're going to retrade it. Yeah. You don't have to be stuck in your position like, you shorty, you were, for example, up $6 per share. And now you see you're only took $2. So you're going to continue risking more because you cannot, accept the fact that you have not anymore those $6. Or possibly you'll be looking at P&L. The P&L, I only watch it when I close my monitors. All right? Never watch it. Never do it while you're trading. Right now it's stuffing, you see, right away, a fast rejection. Now I start seeing more sellers over here.
Yeah.
Look at the times and sales.
Check this out here.
$780. This thing over here seems like gonna crack.
Mm.
I mean, it's a beautiful stuff over here. What does it mean over here that we had like sellers? 782 and 50 is the last chance for a fill. Otherwise, we're gonna go back up to the 785, 787, 790. And I'm telling you this because I know where we have like the main catalyst up here. So let's check this price action. Small liquidity area is 782. It went. Seems like they jumped over here on the bid, or they spoofed. We have a small one over here, careful. So somebody is refilling over here the 782 because they ate a decent amount of size and, you know, they're refilling. So we have a hidden seller jumping in. That's good. I mean, that's good if you're looking for a more fader over here. Trend line below 780 and 50, we can have more unwind right now. Above 782, bye-bye is going to push. We have hidden seller traders. 782 on Tesla. He's clear like the sun.
Crystal clear.
Oh, there we are. So over here we had a breakdown of that 70 support. There we are. Boom. So that's why I said before it's important to put your trend line. We just put it like 10 seconds ago. 9 seconds ago. Right? So that is, now you want to see a confirmation of a close below 780. Otherwise, what happens over here that we're going to have another pennant and this could push still to the upside. So you see, breakdown 780, reclaim the 780 and now popping. And understanding this gives you a clearer picture of how to trade something like Tesla, which is so volatile. 2 days ago, I had a tape reading lesson with a trader. And I went over the level 2, the times and sales, and the Bookmap. And he asked me, honestly, Jay, what do you prefer, tape or the flow? And well, I know how to read the tape pretty good. But I told him honestly, and that the way that you can see structures on multiple assets at the same time on Bookmap is something I would say far beyond what just tape reading can do. Because tape, I could read it pretty good if I have one stock, maximum maybe 2. But I'm a trader that I'm looking 6, 7, 8 stocks at the same time. And if I don't look in that moment on that precise stock, I don't know what happened in after 10, 15 minutes. With Bookmap, I just need to look over here and I know what happened. And I could dig into and see how much size was traded. It's not, like the normal times and sales of every single, broker that after 30 seconds, 1 minute, if you don't filter it, you don't see anymore like the size that was traded. Okay. So that is what's interesting for me. Multiple products, so multiple assets at the same time. And right away, at a quick glance, I can understand the price action. Over here, the traders in the meantime, another stuff. Brutal, right? So Tesla doesn't have any kind of intention over here to push. Doesn't have. So you cannot fight the trend over here. It's red. Everything's going down. Candles are red. Zone is red. For now, I'm gonna stay with a short bias. Nice juicy heat map. This level over here, 784.85. Again, big breakdown over here. So there's a little bit of war.
That's fantastic, Joseph. I love hearing that you've kind of made the link or relationship between the time and sales skills that you've culminated over the years to directly seeing it historically in the chart in Bookmap.
Yeah. Yeah, because Bruce, when I look at a stock, and let's say I'm going to look at Tesla. If you take now normal level 2 on Tesla, you're going to see almost all the prints the same. I mean, I'm just watching right now between, okay, 0, so it means like it's below 100 shares to maximum 200 shares. I'm not really going to understand much, even if I have, like the full book that gives me all the depth. When I see something like this, and I love to keep it like just big, I can understand so much because I will have my chart. My chart will tell me over here we have a consolidation area of resistance. I'm going to see the heat map. Okay, stuff, boom, I'm going to short. Right away, I know how to react to this. All right? So if I see on the tape, and maybe I have to look at 3, 4, 5 stocks together, I'm going to remember and spot all these things at the same time. I must be a computer. I cannot process all those things. It's true that a person, I read, it processes 11 million partial of thoughts in a second. 11 million partial thoughts. And only 40 are, I would say, conscious. All the other thoughts, so more than 10 millions, are unconscious. So how the heck I'm going to look at 5, 6 tapes at the same time and understanding what to do if I'm not a computer? That's where the ads over here comes.
Yep, great
By
stuff.
J-Lines. Thank you, Bruce. So traders, any questions over here? Sorry if I was not watching the chat, but I was more absorbed over here to explain the order flow. Let me see. We have Razor. Good morning, Razor. What are you looking for? Yes, break of that level. How do you manage your stop on Tesla above liquidity? All right. So again, 2 good questions that would take so much, but yes, for me right now, doesn't give me any signs of bounce on the daily and weekly chart. So I'm so short bias. How do you manage your stop loss on Tesla above liquidity? This is a good question. It really depends from the scenario. Normally, I would tell you above liquidity. But then with all this market giving so many stuffs, right? They will often use that liquidity, all right, for fake outs. Because often liquidity, where you will find it? You will find liquidity like over here at precise levels. Maybe this was a daily resistance. So you put a stop over here, and then you start like, complaining with yourself why you stopped the top if you are, let's say, short. So I prefer or to stop at break even. Let's say I'm short, comes back up, I stop at break even, or to give a little bit more wiggle room. Because I've seen this over and over and over. All right. Now experiment. I would say study it. Not the same on yes and TSLA, so on some days it follows cues. Okay, just saw a buy order on yes get filled above the offer. Crazy. First time seeing that on Bookmap. Well, you will see often. You will see often, or often could be dark pools, all right? So you will see orders that are into the mids. You'll see orders that, for example, when the broker opens, like let's say the price is over here, broker opens, you will see like fills over here. And you think, how can I get a fill over there? I want a short over here because then eventually went over here. You cannot. You cannot, right? We cannot. Me and you cannot. Somebody can, not us. Those are back orders from the system. Other questions, traders? I think it's pretty calm over here.
Pretty good. In YouTube here, we answered the ES question, and that was the main question over there. So requests to look at some other stocks, but we've got to end the webinar now.
Okay. So we can call it over here. Bruce, what do you think?
Yeah.
All right, Jada. So again, thank you for being an amazing team. If you have questions during the week, like what would you like that I cover next week, or you need an extra explanation, just reach out. You can just reach out to the JTrader Co on Twitter, and or just simply over here on Discord, right? For who's part of the team. And so next time we're gonna have like a next week webinar. I'm gonna answer your questions, right? Just about the market and the order flow. Okay, guys. So again, Bruce, thank you very much. Thank you, Bookmap, and see everybody next time. Take care, traders.
Excellent. Thank you, Joseph.
Bye-bye.
Bye.